Hey, it's Becky, and I got my curated collection. So I'm gonna open it up, see what's inside, and maybe make something. I'm thinking of doing like a memory wire bangle with some of the 2-hole beads that come in this curated collection, and we'll pick out which beads we're gonna use and see what's going on with it, and make that while we're doing this. Now, the curated collections are from Beads to Live By. And every month it's a subscription. You can get a 2-hole bead collection, a seed bead collection, or both. I subscribe to both. And usually there's like an add-on bundle that you can purchase separately that has like check glass. It'll have pressed glass and fire polish bundles. And I like that they have them as a separate thing so that if you're not feeling it that month, you can skip it like I did this month. Oh, look at these. There are a lot of pinks and golds in here. Ooh, this is going to be fun. So this is the 2-hole bead collection, and this is the seed bead collection. And they're usually sets of beads that go together. So I don't know if you guys get the same kind of decision fatigue that I get, where like you're just like, oh man, there are so many different options out there and you don't know which to pick, which will go together. And so getting the curated collection makes it a little bit easier for me to build up my stash, to know that like all of these beads that look like they might be a little separate might actually go together. And you know what? Some of these will actually go with last month's collection, I think. Like these lentils would go great with some of the pinks and reds that were in last month's collection. But you always get the same type of 2-hole beads, and you always get the seed beads. And you get, I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 packets of seed beads, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings of 2-hole beads, and they all go together. So let's take a look and see which ones of these we want to use for our bracelets. Just real quick, the varieties that you get are for the 2-hole beads. You get these pyramid beads, and I made some spiked collars with these and cuffs. We've also got these 2-hole dagger beads, so they've got a second hole in them. And I really, really like this color. It's like coppery on one side and then like that vitriol color on the other. And this is definitely something that I'm probably going to use with some of my other things that I got this month, because I don't know if you've noticed, but this color palette with this, like it's a navy blue, but it's a light navy blue, matte purple beads. These are matte. These ones are luster. These ones have a silver lining. These are matte, but they have a really great like finish on them, where part of it is like yellow and part of it is pink and part of it's blue, or some of these other ones like that. And then you've got like your neutrals that come with it that will help accentuate things, like these two. And I love this. That's fantastic. Like they just really go together. But I was just thinking while I was looking at it, let me grab it out. If you saw my organization video for the Sam's bead box, let me see if I've got it right here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Like there are some colors in here that this curated collection will kind of extend and amplify. Like these 2-hole beads definitely go with some of these colors that we've got in here. The pink's a little too bright, I think, but look how great these lentils look with these coral and orange melons and these checked glass beads there, like the Art Deco ones. So like this would accentuate and extend the range of things that you could do with it if you added it to that. And then you've got some of these other beads that would add to the fun that you have with that. So like, I don't know if they planned it, probably not, but it actually really works together for this this coral reef colors that we've got going here. Oh yeah, hey, this too. Maybe over here on this side. So it's a great way to get things that have already been planned together, like, because yeah, it's a thing where you have way too many things that you have to make decisions about. Like sometimes I just want to make stuff without having to make a bunch of decisions. I think I'm going to use silkies for my cuff. And you can use like any 2-hole bead for this kind of cuff style that I'm going to show you how to make. I made one last week with just some tile beads. The lentils would work too. Maybe these actually might be really cool with bangles, especially if you had the spikes going out on the sides. I might do one of those another day with that. And these are always just the best, most punk rock thing that you can have. And I love that it's hot pink. I might make a little Barbie stud cuff with those because they're just like, it's such a great color. That's so much fun. But yeah, these are fantastic. But I think I'm going to use the silkies. These are like diamond shapes and they have the beads running, or the holes running up through them like that. So let's see which colors I want to have with these on my cuff. I think this is gonna go. I think this is what I want. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, all right, so let me put the rest of my curated collection over here. And I'm going to get out some seed beads. I've got some memory wire here. I've got my 2-hole beads. And for working with the memory wire, I'm going to be using some flush cutters and some round nose pliers. All right, so let's get these out and let's just make something. I like making stuff. And I think I mentioned in the last one, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, what do I make? What do I make? What do I make? So I'm trying to make things like more spur of the moment instead of letting it percolate forever and ever and ever and ever. You know, just so I can get these ideas out of my head. All right. Yeah, I think that's gonna look fantastic. It's like a muted rainbow. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to just wrap this memory wire around my wrist twice. 1, 2, and that's where I want to cut it. And then I'm going to take this and find the midpoint between each of these this is it without me pulling on it. I'm just pulling on it and dragging these two ends to where they meet in the middle. And that's going to tell me that that's the middle of it right there. I'm going to cut it. All right, so now I've got my two memory wire strands, and I'm only going to be working with two of these. You could do like 4 and have like multiple rows of your 2-hole beads, but I'm only going to do 2 because that's all I feel like doing today. But the ends can be a little bit sharp, and also you want to keep the beads from rolling off. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to pinch the end right here, and I'm just going to roll back. And it takes a little work to do this because memory wire is very strong, but you can do it. I believe in you. Like if you have 1-step loopers, it's going to be a lot easier, but basically you want to get a little loop on the end like this. I'm just going to try and flatten that out. You can attach things to this like dangles or anything like that, but what it's going to do is it's going to make it so it doesn't rub on my wrist, and it also will keep the beads from sliding off. Now I'm going to leave the other end undone for now so that I can string my beads, but I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side right here on the other, I guess, strand, the other wire, because I'm going to probably be doing both of these at once. I'm still trying to decide what the best way to do these is, if it's one at a time or both at the same time. I think both at the same time will work. All right. It does take some work, it takes some effort. And notice I'm pressing into my finger with this to keep it from going anywhere weird. All right. So let me put that tool away. I'm not going to need that again until I get to the end and I'm finishing off my bangle. So, well, it's not really a bangle. It's more like a cuff, because a bangle is closed and a cuff is open, and you can open and close it. So if I've got both of these all together, I think what I want to start off with is maybe 2 seed beads on each side. So I'm just going to pick up 2 with the other end, like that. Slide it down to the bottom. Then I'm going to do the same thing with my second wire. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. And this is because I need something between the end of the wire and the bottom of my silky bead. All right, so now I've got both of those, and they can float around. It's fine. They don't need to get pushed all the way down yet. But now I'm going to take both of the wires and I'm just going to hold them parallel to each other. And then I'm going to grab my silky bead, and I am going to put the silky bead on my wires. And you can see how the holes go. They run through it like that so that it makes a diamond shape. Like they're square, but the holes go diagonally so that when they're strung, it makes a diamond shape, which makes it really, really fun shape for making things with. So now that those are together, it's going to be harder for me to do one at a time things with each of these. So I'm probably going to go ahead and build up my spaces between these at the same time. So let me see. I think 3 or 4 seed beads. Let's see what 3 seed beads looks like next to each other. And like, you can play around with this a lot. With the ones that I did last week, I also used some of the check glass because I used previous shipments. I used some check glass beads, and I had check glass beads between each of my 2-hole beads. This is just going to be seed beads and 2-hole beads though, so. All right, so I'm just separating the wires one at a time so I can pick up the seed beads. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can pick up the seed beads individually like this and try to string them on. But I have trouble doing that, so I like to just grab the wire and kind of tap it on the top of the seed bead to get it onto it. All right, so I've got 3 seed beads on each, so 6 seed beads total, 1 on each wire, like so. And now I am going to add another silky bead. I think this would look fantastic. In fact, I think I'm going to do this with the pink ones. I'm definitely going to use these pink ones, and I'm going to make a cuff like this another day. All right. All right, put these through. Let's see how this looks. Yep, I think 3 seed beads is great spacing on this. And what the 2-hole beads do is they keep each of these memory wires like kind of solid in place. Like they're twisting around each other and they're going crazy on this side. But once I finished it, it will be like flat and it'll go all the way around, and you can take it on and put it back on really easily for these. You can also, if you want to, attach these loops to a clasp if you want to make it more secure. I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna be wearing it anywhere where I need it to be super secure, like if I was working with small kids, because they will grab your jewelry all the time, or if I was doing like physically intensive work, I would probably want to have a clasp. I would not wear this to the gym. All right. So there's another 3. And then I'm going to put on a silky bead. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around until I get to the end of this, this loop that I'm making, this little circlet. And when I get to the end, I'm going to loop the other ends. So let me finish stringing these on. Started with 2 down at the bottom, and then 3, and then just 3 between each of my silkies. And I'm just gonna string these on, get it going, and when I get to the end, I will turn my camera back on, and you guys can meet me there, get to time travel. And when I get there, I will show you how to finish this off. But yeah, look at that. That's really fun. This is going to be a cool bracelet. Okay, so here I am at the end. I started over here and I just went all the way around with my 3 seed beads and a silky. All the way around, and here I am near the end. And you can end this anywhere you want. If I'd wanted to, I could have ended it back here or something like that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of mirror the end here, and I'm going to put on 2 more seed beads on each of these. And then I'm going to grab my clippers and even these out because they're not exactly even. This is a great place for you to even them out. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers and make another little loop on the end. So let me grab these. I'm keeping this out of the way so it doesn't swing through and hit my my seed beads while I am putting 2 seed beads on each of these. And this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky, and it's really easy for your beads to go flying if you lose your grip or something like that. So I'm trying to hold on to them and keep them on there. I have 2 on one side. I need to grab the other side with 2 of these beads. All right, there we go. So I have 2 on both sides. So let's make sure this is even all the way through. This wire is a little bit longer than the other, so I mean, and if they're not even, all it'll do is just kind of skew it a little bit. It's fine. All right, so let's get our flush cutters out. I'm going to cut them one at a time because otherwise you'll ruin your pliers. All right. So there's that one, and then I'm going to cut the other one to the exact same size. Careful not to... Anyway, sorry if you're not a fan of blood. We all have to bleed for our art. Anyway, I'm gonna grab onto this really, really tightly. I'm gonna curl this up and away from the edge and towards my beads. Like that. Hold on there, mister. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Just grasping the end of it really tightly and rolling it back towards the beads. And it is not going all the way. That's okay, because I can just try harder. Just curl better, Becky. Working on it. Okay. That one is curled all the way. Now I need to work on this one. I'm just having to turn this over because things keep getting in the way. All right. This isn't curling all the way down because the beads are getting in the way. So I'm trying to pull the wire away from the beads a little bit more so that when I twist it downwards like that, it's going to hit wire and not beads. And now it's done. Okay. So like I said, you could attach clasps to these, like a 2-strand clasp, or put a jump ring through both of these rings and then attach a clasp that way. I'm not going to because it will fit really nicely on my wrist, just like that. And it will stay there for most of the time, and I love it. And I'm gonna make like 20 more of these. They're so cool. But I wanted to show you before I left, the one that I made the other day, just to show you that there are like an infinite amount of combinations of 2-hole beads and seed beads and even other beads. Like I alternated my 2-hole beads with some check glass beads. These are some fire polish rounds for this bracelet that I did the other day. And this was just me playing around, seeing like what kind of fun things will look good together. And here's where I had some silkies instead of my tile beads. Here's where I had my tile beads. It's really a fun way of using up your seed beads and your 2-hole beads. Makes a real quick bracelet, and you can stack them. Like, make a whole bunch, have them be different, stack them up, and have a lot of fun. Let me pull these guys back in here so you've got all of this curated collection in shot with our Barbie pink. Like, I think this is a great color. I'm stoked about it. And then we've got our like red, orange and coral color that is, I'm probably going to use that with my Sam's bead box. Not gonna lie. You've got your luster, what is it, luster? Yeah, it's kind of lustery. Luster orange tile beads. You have your copper and purple dagger beads, and these are gorgeous. I love these dagger beads. I think that this would look really good on one of these, like if you had them alternating or something, or pointing out on the other sides, with this type of a bangle. Maybe not the whole way around, maybe just a little bit on the middle. I'm gonna figure out a design on that, and maybe I will film it later this week with all of those. And then we have our seed beads. We have our multicolor seed beads with our muted rainbow, and that's what I used for this bracelet. And then we've got our silver lined, almost opaque blue, our matte purple, a very light, like lavendery, well, more like a violet. It's really warm purple. This is a cool purple, and this is a warm purple. And then we've got our luster purple, and this is an even cooler purple. It's almost blue, but trust me, this is purple. And this, it's like a taupe color, kind of like a greeny taupe. I like it though. It's pretty cool. It's a nice neutral. And then we've got our really warm corally color, orange, fiery colors. And that is the curated collections from Beads to Live By for June. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.